Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining another episode here. Today is a special episode. We've got Memorial Day coming up, and that's a special day to honor our fallen and beloved armed service members here in the United States of America, for those watching internationally. And at the last second, I just thought I would throw up this Army cargo net that, I've got here in one of my bedrooms. And there's a unique story behind this one here. So this is a special Memorial Day episode. I'm also going to be reading a letter from a veteran that wrote me in Iraq. Okay, so I'll be reading that letter and sharing about this cargo net here. I actually picked it up in the year 2000 and maybe 2005, 2006. I was working at the Tulsa Boys Home out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. One of the employees, actually the maintenance supervisor, Danny Box, rest in peace, no longer with us. He was a former Marine that served in Gulf War I. Well, he actually had this exact net, this camo netting was his from Gulf War I. And he sold it to me. They were having some sort of auction sale one day. And of course I got this because I thought it was so cool, and how cool it actually came from the deserts out there in Saudi Arabia during Gulf War I. I believe he was a sergeant first class of ranking out there in the Marine Corps. And so it's super cool. It's huge. And you really don't know what to do with a cargo net, Army camo cargo net, when you're just a civilian now. So I just keep it in by chance, if I have to cover this home, if I wanted to wrap this entire home with it to protect it from Al-Qaeda or something like that, I can do it. I keep it. I've came close to disposing of it once or twice because it is just so gigantic, and I really don't use it. I just will probably never bring myself to toss it because it has some special memories. But anyway, so that explains the cool backdrop out right behind me there. And it's just for tonight. I'm sure it clashes with the lights and the colors. But anyway, what I wanted to get into this evening was a special letter. I have never shared this letter with anyone in person, I don't think. Maybe one or two people. I'm sure Drew's seen it. Definitely it's not been on the internet. But back in, of course, as you guys know, we went through Fort Benning basic training around the year 2002, 2003. And I know for a fact that a lot of our guys in our platoon, 1st Platoon Wolverines, was shortly in Iraq. And then, of course, our pass, me and Drew's pass went another direction, unfortunately. We tried to circle back and get back in with them, but life just didn't work out that way despite our efforts. But I know for a fact those guys in my platoon and our platoon went straight over to the war in Iraq in 2003 and 2004. So I started following very heavily the war, the counterinsurgency, the Al-Qaeda leaders that they were trying to nab all the time. And just really, I just felt like, because I knew my friends were there. And the least I could do is watch it and be involved in it and know the ins and outs of who was fighting where and what does the civil war in Iraq mean, who actually started it, and what role did the U.S. play in doing good for the Iraq people? What role did we play in probably not helping also, right? So I was very involved in learning as much as what was going on in that war as possible from a distance. And I wrote a letter to a guy. I think it's called the, what's it called? I think it's called the Yellow Ribbon Association or something like that. And that's where you can kind of sponsor a veteran, or you can send them money, you can send them care packages. And so they kind of just randomly select you people to write letters to. But this was a guy that was frontline infantry in Iraq. My only regret is that I do not have the envelope. I don't have his last name, and I don't know how to find him other than this guy's name is Nick. And so I'll just read what I can of the letter. Some of it is classified. And it says, this is written on the day after Thanksgiving, November of 2004, November 25th, 2004. Hello, Michael. I was in Delta, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Division, House of Pain. We come to find out, they just paired me up with this guy who was actually in the same basic training station. I got paired up with this guy who was in the same basic training station as I was. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? And so we're riding back and forth about basic training and his experiences there and our experiences there. He encourages me to continue with the process to get back in, get that waiver system going, and then so you could rejoin the Army and rejoin the fight. He talks about how infantry training, his actual infantry unit, was even much harder than it was in basic training. He says, for example, every other day was a 5-mile run. Every other day in between was either muscle failure, weight trainings, and grapplings, 2-mile runs, swimmings, and whatever the PT is they could throw in. And he says, when I get back from Iraq, I am re-enlisting for Korea. So we have an active Army base there, thankfully, in South Korea called the 2nd Infantry Division. And so he is going to join a long-range reconnaissance and surveillance detachment. So he's almost going to be like a part of a ranger attachment there, if you will, but it's called long range reconnaissance and surveillance, which is super cool. And he says, if you join any special op detachment, you're guaranteed a ranger school slot. So he wanted to go to ranger school, pre-sniper and U.S. Army sniper school. And he said he was recommended to the sniper and recon section of this training school when he gets there. Let's see here. Now, he did mention a person's name who went AWOL 1 week prior to the Iraq deployment. We'll leave his name out of it. That guy's in big trouble, though. He also mentions that he thinks the new Army combat uniforms are cool over the battle dress uniforms. But the digi-camos that are in the Times, that's the military Times or New York Times, are dumb. So they're in Iraq, if you remember. So the BDUs, battle dress uniforms. Those were the standard woodland camis, standard woodland camo pattern from probably the late 70s and 80s and on into the 90s and even into the year 2000 was the old school classic woodland camo. Of course, when you go to desert fighting areas, you've got to change your camouflage up a little bit. So the Army came out with several different versions of what they would consider camouflage acceptable and good use for the desert environment. One of those was absolutely atrocious. It is the opposite of desert camo. This thing's got dust on it and it's making me cough. Anyway, so I'll show up some pictures of the Army camo uniforms that varied throughout that time and what they look like now. So he says, I'm in the 1st of the 25th Brigade, but I'm in the 1st of the 5th Battalion. That's 1-5 Charlie Company, 25th Infantry Division. He says, and I quote, yes, we sure are kicking ass and taking names every once in a while here. Every once in a while, we'll see the news when we convoy to Marez. That's a city in Iraq. You guys don't even see 1/8 of what goes on over here. Like 2 days ago, some Haji guy was shooting mortars. That's the bombs that go like this. Haji. So he's describing some rogue, loose foot soldier there shooting mortars at their camp. And that's all that happened because we dropped dope and smoked them. So that's their vernacular of saying we dropped bullets, lots of bullets. Dope's also known as ammo there, and we smoked them. Means they were eliminated. He says crazy stuff goes on here every day: car bombs, roadside bombs, ambushes, 3-hour firefights, mortars, rocket-propelled grenades, you name it. It gets wild here at times. He says, sorry, I can't email you, but where my company's doing operations at, we have no internet, no phones, no showers, nothing but the meal ready to eat. That's the packaged meals that you get and you boil, and they're freeze dried. So that's all they're eating where he is. Every once in a while, we convoy to Mars, Mares. That's the city in Iraq. We get a hot chow, hot food, and mail. Oh yeah, your letter was so dated. Oh yeah, your letter was dated October 30th. I just got it today. And next month, so he got it like a month later or something. On December 1st of 2004, I get promoted to specialist. That's an E4 ranking, or I think an E5 ranking in the Army there. So this guy's getting promoted, and he says, I've got a long tour to go, though. He turned 21 on December 4th. December 4th is going to be his birthday. And we landed in Iraq. No, I read that wrong. October 12th of 2004 was his birthday, 21st birthday. And we landed in Iraq on the 12th of Iraq. So he's got 10 months to go on his deployment there in Iraq, he says. And man, I wish I would have kept the envelope. Anyways, I don't know how long it's going to take for this letter to reach you, but I'm sending it out today, and it's Thanksgiving. Anyway, thanks for giving me a letter. Here's a unit patch off my uniforms. Since I'm wearing desert camis, I don't need it. Peace, Nick. Nick, brother, I hope you're still with us, and we are very grateful for your service, and thank you for everything that you did over there, and I wish there was a way for us to reconnect somehow. I hope you see this video, and maybe one day when I'm going through my stuff, I can find the original letter and try to find you on the internet, friend. But this is his unit patch that he gave me. This is off his actual uniform from Iraq. This is called the Tropic Lightning patch. Okay, and let me pull up something real quick here from the internet about the 25th Infantry Division. That's the name of the division this guy's was in, and representing the 25th Infantry Division is a United States Army division based at Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. Okay, they were activated in 1941, and their first real test, of course, was when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. So this division is stationed in Hawaii. They have had hundreds of successful campaigns wherever they went: Korea, Vietnam, Iraq 1, Iraq 2. This is a very battle division. They were nicknamed Tropic Lightning. See here, you can see the patch. This is a strawberry. I used to think it was a pineapple, because, they would be on the beach. So technically it's a strawberry, but you could call it, they were also called the Pineapple Division. And this is called Tropic Lightning. They are also known to be a light infantry fighting force as well. If something is happening on that side of the world, these thousands of men and women in uniform there in Hawaii will get there quick in a hurry and take care of whatever is the problem for sure. And so then they've got like subunits that are stationed like in Fort Lewis, Washington, and some other places. But this is the home base, would be Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. This patch looks like this. This is a grayed out patch, almost like an olive drab green. And that's because they're wearing it on their desert uniforms. So when you're in the desert fighting, you can't be wearing the original patch, which is a flashy red and yellow. I'll show you that too. This is actually one of my favorite patches. I think it's super cool. And when I was looking at the unit map of places to join potentially when I was checking out basic training, I had my eye on going to Hawaii for this patch. And so a lot of people are really attracted to this patch. It is super cool. And I'll keep this the rest of my life, Nick. And so, yeah, this was in 2004 is when I got that letter and patch. And of course, they've got special forces within. They got special forces units within Tropic Lightning. I think they've got a pre-ranger school. They've got a sniper school there. They got different schools there for those guys that are there training for special operations. And so I've never read this letter. This has been on my mind to share on the broadcast. And so today we did it. And so this is what the letters look like. And of course the patch. And Nick, brother, I hope this gets out to you. I hope there's a way I can find you. And I hope you guys enjoy this really, really special episode in honor of the vets that have fallen, but we hope he's still alive. I just wanted to do something coming up because it is Memorial Day coming up. Everybody have a safe Memorial Day. To those veterans that are deceased and alive, we're super, super grateful for your service. Past, present, and in the future. God bless America. See you guys on the next one.